Welcome to our session on good laboratory practice. Today, we're going to focus on something that is, quite literally, the foundation of reliable research, the facility itself. It's more important than you might think.
And to really see why these rules matter so much, we're going to walk through a case study. Let's look at a fictional lab we'll call Apex Labs, which is right in the middle of a major compliance crisis.
You know, Apex Labs had to learn this the hard way. Their studies, which looked really promising, are now on the verge of being completely thrown out. And why? All because of some fundamental problems with their physical environment. It's put everything they've worked for at risk.
So to get Apex Labs back on track, and to show you how to stay on track, we're going to zero in on these key areas of facility management. And we'll wrap it all up with a clear blueprint for success. Okay, let's dive right in.
First things first, we have to look at the core layout and the environment of the lab. Believe it or not, the way your facility is designed has a direct, and I mean direct, impact on the integrity of the data you produce. Before we go any further, let's get a key term straight from the GLP guidelines, the test system. This sounds technical, but it's really just anything you're conducting your study on. It could be an animal model, a plant, or even an analytical instrument. Protecting this system is absolutely paramount.
So when the auditors went into Apex Labs, they found some major problems. Different studies were basically bleeding into each other. Animals were stressed out by noise, which can skew results. And get this, there was no proper isolation for new or sick animals. On top of all that, the environmental controls were a mess, and supplies were stored right where they could contaminate everything. It was a recipe for disaster.
The corrective action plan is really just common sense, all based on core GLP principles. It's all about creating separation and control. You have to make sure the only variable affecting your test system is the one you're actually studying. All right, moving on. Let's talk about how Apex Labs was handling the actual substances they were investigating. This is a really common stumbling block for a lot of labs when it comes to GLP compliance.
So you have your test items, the thing you're studying, and your reference items, which are your controls or comparators. The GLP mandate is crystal clear on this. You must keep them separate. Apex Labs didn't, and that created a huge risk of mix-ups that could make their entire study useless.
The audit just uncovered chaos in their storage areas. Things were stored together that shouldn't have been. Materials were degrading because the conditions weren't right. And there was hardly any security, meaning they couldn't actually guarantee the identity or purity of their own materials. Not good.
And here's the thing. The solution is pretty straightforward. GLP requires facilities to provide a whole range of controlled conditions, just like you see here. This isn't just about being tidy. It's about ensuring the identity, concentration, purity, and stability of every single item is maintained from the start of the study to the end.
Okay, for our final area of focus, let's look at the beginning and the end of the material life cycle. We're talking about the archive, which protects all your past data, and waste disposal, which is crucial for protecting your current studies.
Apex's archives, well, they were a disaster waiting to happen. Years of work were vulnerable to everything from fire to pests. And even worse, their waste handling was so poor, it was actively creating new risks for the expensive studies they were running right now.
So what's the key takeaway here? A GLP-compliant archive is not just the dusty storeroom. It's a controlled vault. As you can see from these steps, physical security is data security. They're one and the same.
When it comes to waste disposal, it's all about protecting the integrity of what's happening in the lab right now. The whole goal is to completely eliminate any chance that waste materials could circle back and contaminate ongoing work.
Okay, so by tackling these failures head-on, Apex Labs can actually transform its facility from a huge liability into one of its greatest assets. Let's look at the blueprint they followed. I love this quote because it perfectly captures the necessary shift in thinking. A compliant facility isn't passive. It's not just a box you do science in. It's an active instrument that protects and enables great science.
And this table really brings it all together. It's a simple summary of our key takeaways. You can see how each area of the facility maps directly to a core GLP principle, and each one has clear, actionable steps you need to take for compliance.
So, as we wrap this up, I want you to think about your own environment. Take a hard look around. Is your facility ensuring the integrity of your data, or could it be your single biggest risk? Because at the end of the day, a well-designed facility is the bedrock of trustworthy data, and that's what ensures the health and safety of all of us.